sometimes no.
All right, next question. What was your worst high school experience?
What's my worst high school experience? I'm gonna go with the algebra curriculum that my parents got for me, and they'd never used it before, and they hated it. Like, my parents were stressed out by this program because it was not comprehensive. Both of my parents think incredibly differently, and they were trying to help. By the way, I was homeschooled. They were trying to help me understand it, and they're like, this doesn't make sense. And so there was many late nights of just so much stress in that for the 1 year. And that was my first year of high school. So how old was I? 12? 13? Something like that. I graduated at 16, so it was like 2 years behind was whatever is normal.
Okay.
That would be mine.
My worst high school experience. I don't know. It's a really difficult question for me.
Mine was actually specifically about school, but I suppose it wouldn't have to be.
Yeah. My school really wasn't bad. I mean, not piggybacking off of hers too much, but my first year of algebra was awful as well. I don't know if that'd be my worst experience or not, because I just basically didn't do algebra for the entire first year.
How'd you get away with that?
Because I didn't understand it. The program was so terrible that I just tried and I couldn't get it. So I basically failed in an entire year of algebra, and then we switched programs and I did it through the summer.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you have to take algebra. Like, you
Yeah,
have
you
to
do.
pass that at some point.
You do. So yeah, we had a program that we tried and tried and tried and tried, and I could not get it. And then we switched back to Matthew C, and I finished it in like 2 or 3 months.
So maybe,
throughout the summer.
I guess the lesson takeaway from that is review the program before you use it.
And don't use teaching textbooks.
I never used that one.
I think that's what it was teaching textbooks.
Yeah, the program I used
Some
was
people love it.
SOS, Switched On Schoolhouse. And it was great for all of the other topics, all of the other categories and everything, perfectly fine. Not algebra. Don't ever use it for algebra.
It all depends upon how your mind works. But I don't know if that's my worst one or not. I guess I'll go with it because I can't really think of anything else.
I know, it was a long time ago, high school, right?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, been graduated for 11 years.
Wow.
Me.
I'll say my worst year of school, I'll go with that, was probably one of my first years. Because I remember I had a lot of problems when I was really, really young. I was learning addition, and I don't think I got through like maybe 1 or 2 lessons. Like I could understand kind of 2 plus 2, but then that's when my parents figured out that I had a problem with my eyes, and we wound up through that, or actually figured out that I had a comprehension problem, and then through that figured out that I had a problem with my eyes as well as a comprehension problem. So I didn't understand like anything, especially math.
But your mom was able to like address that and fix it. And
yes, mom and dad were able to. Yeah, we were able to address it and fix it, and once it was fixed, that was a lot better.
Which is the cool thing about homeschooling. It can really like actually like, I don't want to say cater to, but like it can specifically focus and adapt to what each child's needs are, which is great.
Yep. All right, next question. Juliet, do you wear head covering? If so, is that a new conviction or did you grow up with it?
Yes, I do wear a head covering. And I wear it daily. I do not just wear it to corporate worship. No, it is not a new conviction. It is something that I have done since I was 9, Yeah, 9 years old. Mom and Dad didn't want to make me or any of my sisters do that unless we felt like we understood it and we could explain to somebody else why we did it. And then once we seemed to understand it and comprehend it, and we could actually make that choice ourselves. They didn't want us to just do it just because Mom and Dad said. So I really wanted to wear it because my older sister wore it, and I was like, I want to wear one too. And they tried to like go over it with like a Bible study with me when I was 8, and I was not comprehending it. I was not getting it. And they're like, let's just wait, okay? And then we waited a year, and then I asked them again, and so we went over it again, and I comprehended it a lot better. And since then I have done so many Bible studies into head coverings because, you always want to have room to learn and understand better. You don't want to just do something just because that's what you do. You want to make sure you know why you do what you do, and you actually are well versed in what you believe.
Yeah. Or maybe you misunderstood something when you studied it
right
the first time. You're like, I never saw that, or God convicts you in a different way, or whatever. So
I don't ever want to close the doors for God to teach me something new. And every time I have restudied it, I have learned something new, which has been really cool, but it has never changed my belief. In fact, it's always reaffirmed my belief that head coverings are necessary and something that should be done daily, is my personal conviction. So, yes. Okay. Is it wrong to try to create opportunities to witness to others instead of watching for the opportunities that God provides? So specifically, is it wrong to create those opportunities?
No. And it could be. So, it's not wrong to create an opportunity where you could possibly witness to somebody. It is wrong to force someone to listen to you.
That's not really creating an
That's
opportunity.
not creating an opportunity. It's not being helpful, but it all depends upon what your definition of creating an opportunity is. An opportunity could be simply you start a conversation with somebody. That's you, maybe it's not even about the Bible, but it leads in, say something that you'd be like, oh yeah, and work that into it.
I feel like if you're actually if you're prayerful about it first, and you have your heart and your mind prepared in the Lord first before you would have an opportunity to witness, then when you go to try and create that opportunity, God's going to make it pretty clear, nope, it's not time. And you can ignore that, or you can listen to it, or he can open those doors and bless your efforts to create those opportunities.
Yep.
Which would be the one and the same then as God creating the opportunity.
Yeah.
Working through you.
Kind of is a little bit of both. I would say it would be wrong to try to force an opportunity. If someone just does not want to talk to you, or is not there, they're not going and beating them over the head with the Bible, is wrong.
You're causing more damage than good.
Yes, you're causing more damage than good. You're not being helpful. But if you're just I'm starting a conversation, or I invite someone over to talk about the Bible, there's nothing wrong with creating that kind of environment where it's hey, come over, we'll talk about God, or just comes up in a conversation that, maybe you pre-thought about, maybe you didn't. But always being, like what Julia was saying, always being prayerful, especially if it is someone that you've been thinking about talking to, consistently praying about it, and praying just in general for God to open doors for you to have conversations, or to interject something, going way off subject in a conversation, you're talking about, how to make food, and you go start talking about Noah. I mean, maybe you can make a connection, but there's you have to make sure that it's like in the scenario, not just trying to throw it in there.
Right. You're supposed to be all things to all men, so if you're making yourself more of an obstacle to their believing, then
Yeah.
it's not working. That's not witnessing.
Yeah.